Hello, hello. Starting Facebook, you guys. Hold on. There we go. This is annoying. We don't need this. What's up, you guys? I am Lakeisha Michelle, and welcome to Good Tea for Life. We are going to talk about some yummy conversation. These topics come up all the time, and I'm especially inspired by church yesterday because it was one of my favorite topics. If you know me, you follow me, you know I love Proverbs because of all the wisdom that Proverbs is constantly telling you to pay attention to. And I think that, now more than ever, you guys, we have less than 6 months in the year now. We got 10 more days, including today, in this month. And it's just time to be wiser and to make, it's always time, but now more than ever, it's just time to make better choices, right? And so I was reading the book of Luke, actually. And Luke has a lot of amazing stories, and they're really good to show you, how you should think in scenarios. You can look at any story from anyone's life. When I was a child, when I heard the story of Solomon, I prayed for wisdom like Solomon. And in general, I just remember as a kid starting to get really curious on why things happen. And I started to make a lot of decisions about what and who I would or wouldn't be, if that makes sense. And so today, I want to talk to you guys about something that keeps coming up, which number one is overwhelm. Overwhelm happens, you guys, when we are just not thinking out loud, right? Think out loud, think on paper, and think on paper and just put all the stuff. To me, the easiest way to get rid of overwhelm first is to affirm that God is not the author of confusion. And so if I feel overwhelmed, that is the enemy. That's not God. Can somebody make some sense on that one? If I feel overwhelmed, that's not God, right? That's not of God. I'm not moving from the space of God, right? So I just need to clear it out. So let me just take a sheet of paper and just write all the things down, because that process alone will clear your mind. It will just make you go, oh, okay, here's everything, right? And so then you can begin to group things together of what needs to be done right now. And it's all based on the result that you're trying to get right now. If everybody could just move about results, outcomes. If you just focus on what is the outcome I desire, then all the little things that you feel are overwhelming you, they become irrelevant. You have to learn to turn a blind eye. You gotta literally ignore the stuff that just doesn't matter right now. I can't get to that right now. And be okay with it. I can't get to that right now. Trust and know that I'll get to it when the time is right. That's it. Because my highest priority result and that I need to get done right now is this thing. So here are the things that match this result that I'm trying to get. If we could just keep doing that, you guys, we'll just keep moving closer and closer to our goals. Hey, Yvonne. Hey, Miranda. Hey, Madria. What's up, you guys? So a lot of people are talking about overwhelm, and overwhelm is just write out what it is that you feel like is overwhelming you, because that just clears up a lot of your energy, because now it's done just floating around just here, just driving you nuts, right? And so from there, another thing that I heard, you guys, is when you think about overwhelm, a lot of the overwhelm we bring on ourselves. And so when you look at the book of Luke, there's a lot of stories about management and your actions. So one of the stories, there was a son, his daddy was rich, and he was like, Daddy, since you're rich, give me, break me off and I'm out. He asked his daddy for, let's say it was a rich guy and his daddy had millions. So he said, Daddy, I need $1 million. So he goes off and he spends all his money on balling in the club, at the strip clubs. He doing his thing, right? Then he spends all of his money and the economy went bad. So now you're broke, but your daddy rich. You're broke, but your daddy rich. And you're in far, far away land. You can't even afford to get back to your daddy. Or maybe your thought process is so far off on, you're caught up in your story. And actually the powerful part about the prodigal son is that he was so caught up in all his mistake. And then he realized, my dad is rich. I'm over here working in the slums, and I can go back and at least work for my dad and try to just regain myself because I've been frivolous. A lot of times the overwhelm that we have is because we've put ourselves in situations and now we got to fix it. And so you beating yourself up for what you did. But what I love about the story in Luke is that he goes back to his dad, and his dad is celebrating him. And that's how God is for us. It's never too late to turn back because God don't go nowhere. Like wisdom don't go nowhere. God don't go nowhere. Nothing good goes nowhere. Good exists, right? And so all you have to do is pivot back. So turn your eyes away from distraction and just pivot back to God and what God has placed on your heart that you should be doing. And count up the cost, because you getting your stuff together is going to cost you something. And you have to be willing to put in the work that it costs. And it's more than likely like a short-term cost. A lot of times it's just something that you got to do for 6 months or for a year or maybe 2 years, right? But are you willing to put in that time because you understand the bigger picture? And that's where wisdom comes into place, because wisdom will tell you to do things that your friends will say, well, what's going on with you? Why are you doing that? I thought you said this and this and that. They don't know your business, and it's not their business to know. So you've got to have a relationship with God so that you can hear the wisdom whispers, because the Bible says in so many scriptures that wisdom is a whisper. When you say you are overwhelmed and God is not the author of confusion, you are letting your mind play tricks on you. So again, I tell you guys, the biggest enemy is not going to be your hater. I don't sit and think about a hater. Who cares? What's up, all things new? Shantae, Cherie, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so it's like, stop thinking about that stuff. And then let's just get into what you want to get done. What's the result that you want to create? What's the result that you want to create? What's the result that you want to create? Right? Let's get to that. Once you're into creating that result, like, yo, you're in action. That progress is going to make you happy. That progress is going to start to make you feel like you can do it again. It's never too late to start over. And what I love about the prodigal son is that at the end of the day, he took the money from his dad. His dad's wealthy. He took the money and he squandered it. He mismanaged it. So a lot of times you and I feel overwhelmed because we just simply mismanage what was placed in our possession. And another place in Luke, I don't know where, but there's another part in Luke where basically, it just in general, with the prodigal son, with the dishonest manager story, they were mismanaging. And so your job is to say, what am I frustrated about simply because I just didn't manage? You could be frustrated about your weight, but it's because you weren't managing the food. And then maybe you're eating because of a relationship stress or a work stress. So you're not managing like what you can over yourself, so that something like work and a relationship isn't making you make your body something that you don't want it to be. It's all management, no matter the category. It's all management. This ain't the sexy conversation. This won't get the most likes and shares, although I invite you to like and share. Like, let's just be responsible for ourselves and start to be better managers of what's been placed in our possession. It's somewhere in Luke. My disciples, I tell you, to you, listen. Hold on, there's a part of Luke. If you cannot be trusted, hold on. Luke 16. Basically, it's saying, like, if I can't trust you with what you've been having access and opportunity to, why are you asking for more, trying to get more, trying to come up, and you ain't even doing good with the little stuff that you have, right? So we have to be managers excellent managers of our time, of our money, of our body, of our mind, of our possessions and things that we have. Is your car dirty right now? Like, why you got a junky, dirty car? Like, do you love it? Do you appreciate it? Show it gratitude. Something as simple as that is like gives you a clear head. Seriously, it really does. And some people are like, oh no, I'm just junky like that. That's just who I am. But like, what? I want to show gratitude to my things. So to the best of your ability, if the car is someplace you spend a lot of time to, when you get into it's scientifically proven when there's clutter, your mind is cluttered. So what's adding to the overwhelm that you have? A lot of times you don't need more information. You just need to actually take action on something. So I want to drop into your heart today. What is it that you need to take action on that will begin to move you forward to that result that you want? Overwhelm is not real. It's just a mind trick. So write down everything that's overwhelming you and then write the result that you want. And it is never too late to turn into the person that you know you are to be. It is never too late to turn back to purpose. It is never too late to turn your ear, your mind, your thoughts back to God thoughts and take risks. Because if you're not taking risks, then you're risking the life that you could have. You're literally the miserable feeling and the overwhelm is because you know you ain't doing nothing. So you're overwhelmed at the fact that I should be, but I'm not. So here I am. Right? So either way, it's going to cost you something. So I dare you guys to check out. I want you guys to look at Luke because it's really, really good. Luke chapter 16. And then, hold on, let me give you the exact. So in Luke chapter 15, it talks about how the shepherd will chase that one lost sheep. There's just this thing. I was so inspired because it's just, to me, showing you how much God cares about you, that even when you go off and do crazy things, you spend too much, you date the wrong person, you make the wrong move, that God still loves you and it's never too late and you're not too old, you're not too young. There's always time. There's always, and I say time reluctantly because you don't know if you have enough time. So that's why you value time, because you don't know when it's going to be your last time. But there's just, if you're still here, then you can bounce back, right? If you're still here, then you can elevate. You can go to the next level. And it's going to require you to be a better manager. And the overwhelm comes from just lack of clarity of the result that you want. So, question, get a clear result that you want. And when I say clear, everybody's heard of SMART goals, but we act like it's something else that there is. But it's just really like, it needs to be specific. SMART goals, whoever made that up, that's a cute little acronym or whatever it's called. But it's just like, be clear on what you want, right? Concise, to the point, clear, concise, okay? That means it's not some long drawn out thing. If somebody say I'm about to give you, $10,000 right now for, your business, if it takes you 50,000 seconds to tell them what your business is, that's not clear and concise. You want to be to the point, right? Same thing in your love life. God is like that investor. So you have to say, God, this is what I want. And it needs to be clear and concise, right? Any category. And then get quiet and listen to what comes up. Listen to what comes up. Because that's when the enemy comes of you're not good enough, you shouldn't ask for that, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when you can go back to what God says about you and who God is and is working through you. So you are extremely powerful. And God is giving you dominion over these thoughts, dominion over your actions, dominion over your habits. And so from there, all you have to do is literally put an action plan in place. You look at those thoughts that are negative, you know that's not true. What is it that I would do if I weren't scared? Like, it's always good to play the if I weren't scared or if I wasn't whatever, because then you can release and not put so much pressure on yourself and just, maybe I would do this thing. Well, then, yeah, that's what you should do. Right? But it's about getting clear and concise and specific about what you desire. Overwhelm, just brain dump. If you have to brain dump 5 times a day, it's okay. Just overwhelming. This is coming out. Write everything that's overwhelming you. Oh, I got to take this. I got to do this. I got to get that. I have all these things. What's the most important thing that if I get it done right now, it's going to help me get all the other stuff done? Circle that thing and then map out the plan to get that done and then go do it. So I dare you guys to read Luke, because it's talking about counting up the cost before you build. What are the materials and things that you need? And then go forth and do it. And then manage what you've been given. You guys, a lot of this overwhelm is because we know a lot of stuff, but we are not taking action, myself included. So it's just time to take action. It's just time to take action. It's just time to take action. So you guys, for just this week, read Luke. Start at chapter 14. Let me see where I was like. Chapter 14. It's just so good. There's so many wise lessons. Oh my gosh, there's so many wise lessons. Chapter 14, chapter 15. But one thing that kept sticking out to me was being a better manager and understanding that overwhelm is not of God. And I always just tell myself, if I feel confused, God is not the author of confusion. So because God is in me, then I don't have to be confused. And I know the right answer is going to come to me. The right answer is going to come to me. And so let me just go chill for a second. Let me be unattached and trust that something's going to happen. Something's going to just let me know what my next best step is. Good. Juan from England says, I needed this. Good. Right. Realize your cycle. Yeah, because you know what, guys? A lot of times each week comes, it's a new week. And so a lot of times, y'all ladies, I hate scratching my nose because then your makeup is going to happen. You need to just go powder your nose. Anyway, a lot of times it's a new week and you can literally get up and be like all excited and motivated about this week, but you're doing the same thing that you did last week. So is this week really going to be any different? No. Yet. Just in Russian. Russian for no. Niet means no. So I want you guys to actually take some time and look at what's overwhelming you. And I want you to look at it knowing that it's not real. You don't need to do everything. Few things are, I just love the Bible because it really just use it for your everyday life. Jesus told Martha, girl, few things are necessary. So while you're doing the most, you should have been over here. There is something that you should be doing. And God will show you. It'll come in the form of a whisper. So this week, I dare you to start distractions. What is distracting to you? Is it a man? Is it your friend who always want to go eat and ain't got nothing else to do besides go eat? Is it like people who are just busy being seen and they're not, like who in your, or what in your environment is taking your distraction, taking your time away from you, taking your focus away from you, right? This is the stuff that people don't like to talk about because it's like, oh, shoot, I have mismanaged. So then you feel shame and guilt. I rebuke the shame and guilt because we don't have to feel that. Because God loves you and all you got to do is turn your ear back to him. Like literally just be like, okay, I messed up. I forgive myself. I love myself. Here's what I learned from the mess up. Sometimes to me, in my personal time, I talk to God and I say, God, here are the lessons that I learned from that stupid move I just made. Let me just write down these lessons. So I'm going to show you that I get it. Lord, I made this move and that move. And here's what I've learned. Don't do this because it leads to this. And I'm going to tell other people about that as well. So that's my commitment, is to keep sharing with people my lessons and to keep getting better and wiser, because you're wise when you don't do it again. You're wise when you don't do it again. When you apply what you have learned, that is wisdom. So that's why you want to always seek it, because it just makes you have such better life. More life. So that's it. You guys read Luke. It's just good. Like, it's just so good. Okay, so let me give you guys a little summary of Luke. So in Luke 15, and what I love is Jesus was talking to the tax collectors and the sinners, right? And so Jesus was not being bougie, treating people funny because they weren't as holy as him, right? He was sitting around teaching people, right? And then the funny thing is in Luke, people start getting mad. They was like, why is he talking to them? Those are sinners. None of that. Jesus didn't act like that. So if you got to be mad because somebody's lifestyle, does not agree with your lifestyle, then Jesus didn't do that, so why are you doing that? Right? Sometimes you just need to just pay attention and learn that's not how we should be. So Luke is just good, y'all. So Luke, and he's talking to all the people, everyone. He didn't exclude. He broke bread with them, and he taught them stories. And through those stories, he was telling them about God. So here's a man who's 30-something years old, and he's sitting with the sinners and the taxpayers, the tax collectors were bad people in those times, right? And so he's sitting with the people that the Christians shouldn't be sitting with, and he's breaking bread with them, and he's teaching them. He's showing them the epitome of God's love. No matter who you are, I'm going to put this message in front of you, and I'm going to teach it in such a way that it's easy for you to digest, and I pray that your heart is convicted to elevate and to change, right? To be good. That's all Jesus did. So he was telling them all these different stories. And in each of these stories, there was just an overall idea. And I dare you to start at Luke chapter 14 and just read the CEV version. If you feel like the Bible is hard for you, CEV, Google it, Luke 14 CEV, right? That's going to give you a version of the Bible that's really kind of layman's terms. Most people read the NIV version because that's pretty general for everyone to understand. But no matter what, I dare you to just read it, right? And so Jesus is telling all these different stories. And it all shows you how much God values you and adores you and loves you, no matter what mistakes you make. And the Bible equally tells us to get wisdom. So get wisdom and forgive yourself for your mistakes. And have clear goals and plan out what they're going to cost to go get that goal. What is it going to cost me? That way, when you set out to start making these goals happen, you don't quit. You just see something that comes up that's hard and you go, oh yeah, I knew that was going to be hard. I knew this was going to be hard. So now I can keep going because I knew this was going to be hard. That's like working out this morning. I was like, oh my God, I knew this was going to be hard. So I just got to keep going. And trusting in God, not your own ability, because there are just some things that you can't get through by yourself. You need the strength of God. You need the power. You need the mindset. You need the peace that only God can give. So plug into the word and apply it to your life. You don't need to know the whole Bible. I don't know the whole Bible, and I don't need to. Because I trust and know that I will run across the right scripture to apply to my life at the right time. And because I'm living, I will keep learning scriptures and applying them. So I'm powerful because I keep walking in the word, right? And so what I don't know now, because I'm not perfect, I'll get to it. Thank God for grace. You're enough just the way that you are. Don't say that I am overwhelmed. That's a very strong statement. I am overwhelmed. Don't claim that. I am peace. God is peace, therefore I am as well. And I have the power and dominion over my schedule. So I can look at everything that's making me feel this nervousness, write it all down, and I have the power to prioritize based on the result that I need to get in the next 3 days, 90 days, 30 days, right? So now I know which thing to do, and the rest I know will get handled when it needs to, because I do know that few things are necessary. This is what Jesus told Martha. Y'all study Jesus, man. I just love studying Jesus, because he just be dropping bombs, and it be short, sweet, and to the point. It be like, do you believe or not? Few things are necessary. Count up the cost. Like, he just be splurting out stuff, and it's wisdom. And it's like, if I just apply this, I can have a better life. Yes. Wisdom says, don't go buy that new thing today. Invest it in your business. Wisdom says, although you could go live over there, you're going to actually end up spending more. So go do this for right now so that you can take what looks like an L and bounce back, right? And then you have more time and freedom. Like, you guys, that's what wisdom, wise choices are what we should be making. Wise choices make us peace. And when you make that choice, God will give you peace, and you'll go, man, this feels good. It feels right because you made a wise decision. It may not be sexy, but you made a wise decision. And then you're just going to have a certain type of peace in your heart, a knowingness that this is going to pay off. And so then you're just excited to go back to the Bible and to the word because it's like, what else you got? That's how I am anyway. I love you all. I must go. Hope you guys caught that free class this morning. So read Luke 14, 15, 16. Read it, skim through it, see what pops out at you, and then chew on it for the rest of the day. You ain't got to know the whole Bible, boo. Find one scripture that just stings you in your soul to change and to be better. Do you have children? No, but I have a whole bunch of kids in my life. I grew up keeping kids. I love children. They are my favorite, but I do not have any. But I do have a lot that I claim. And they call me their second mom. They would be like offended if I said I don't have any. I love kids. I grew up working in a daycare since I was 13. I have worked with kids forever. Realize, yes. That's really good, realizing your cycle. Just realizing what you do all the time. Does that match the results you want? And like I told my private class at 9 o'clock, sometimes you got to be honest and say, did I really do everything I could to get the result that I am frustrated about that I don't have? Typically the answer is, heck no, you didn't do everything. So stop expecting results when you don't have the pieces in place. So again, wisdom says, go put the pieces in place. What do you think about putting something in motion in case something happened to you? It makes me so paranoid. Last year I had a blood clot in my lung. I'm 28. Definitely put something in motion in case something happens to you, because that's just being smart. That's wise, right? You can prepare for you because death is inevitable. Everybody's going to die. We don't know the time or place. So have your life insurance, have your whatever you want to have set for your children. And don't be afraid of it. Be excited about what it does for the people that you're preparing for. So if it's for your children, like my parents they are at peace because they know that when their time comes, like even to say that, I'm just like, it makes you want to cry, but it's just inevitable. So when it happens, we have things in place so that we're left with something. And that's actually that's love. So be excited that you still have your health, and it's not too late to put something in place so that whoever, you're leaving, when you leave this earth, your soul never dies. So, right. But when your physical body leaves this earth, you have put steps in place, that's going to teach them something. What will it mean to others that you were wise enough to put something in place? You love them enough to prepare ahead of time. Being prepared, your energy behind it is everything. If I know some people that are always trying to prepare for the future, but they live in fear. You need to change the energy and the relationship to the action, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Very honest, a lot of people don't do things because they don't want to talk about death. They don't want to talk about, scary things, but we need to prepare. Like on Lion King, be prepared. Did you guys watch Lion King? I did. I took my kids, my two favorite firstborns. So I had my nephew. This is how crazy. My sister would laugh at me like, really? You had the kid? I was able to hold my first kid. I think I was 13 or 12, I don't know, 14. But I just never forget the moment that they brought my nephew Orion home. I still have the picture in my mom's house, and I was just holding him and looking at him like, oh my God. I just fell in love. I love all of my nephews the same. They just bring me joy. And part of me wanting all of the riches and wealth is so that I can leave them and be the example, because they're going to be on this earth and they need to see somebody they know that, looked out for them, that was resourceful, that handled business, that was a money manager, that was giving and using wisdom. So your life is a testament. So be excited that you get to make moves for them. I almost died in 2015 at the hospital from losing too much blood. Literally went into shock, almost died. And at the end of the day, you want to, I don't have no kids to leave nothing to, but you want to have things in place. What a shame when you see people die and they don't have insurance policies. So then you got GoFundMe accounts for all these insurance. That's a trend now. That is crazy. So you guys, put things in place. What's even crazier is I've seen so many people on my timeline that have kids and they die, and their kids don't have nothing. Now their kids just random trying to figure out their life. So it's called wisdom. And I think I'm passionate about this because as a community, you guys, I want to be able, it needs to be conversations we can have. We need to talk about everything because, that shit makes us better. That's it. Just makes us better. My mother wanted me to make something just in case something, God forbid, happened to me. Yeah, you have a 3-year-old and 11-year-old. So put life insurance. So just get you some life insurance for right now. That's the first step. Life insurance policies that leave them with enough money, right? And then put a plan in place. What would you like to see? Like, really, honestly, who are the people that would take your children? Like, go have conversations. If I die, will my kids be okay with you? Put that stuff in writing. It's called a will, right? And get all that worked out. I wish that somebody was on the live stream right now that does that for a living, like wills and life insurance and, just so you can know where stuff goes. And then if you have debt, work to pay off debt. Put a plan in place so you can pay your debt off. So when you die, your kids don't take your debt. If you have a car, work to pay your car off. So see how it's giving you things to do. Don't get overwhelmed that you need to do it now, but just say, God, these are the things I want to have in place so that if I leave this earth, my kids have a car that's paid off, that's theirs. A house that's paid off, that's theirs. So get excited about it. Don't get scared. Ask God to remove that fear, because it's not you're doing something because you love your children. So you can't get scared. Like that's the wrong. You're thinking from a perspective of, because why would I be scared of death? It's inevitable. Everyone will die. We have to get comfortable with death because everyone will die. We don't know the time or place. That's what gets exciting, because I want to die empty. So I need to do all the things. I don't need to put up with anybody because if I die tomorrow, am I mad I'm looking at you right now? Like when you live like that, you live differently. Like I'm ready to leave the country. I'm ready to live my life, because you don't know when you're going to die. People that are scared to die really fast because they just start doing stuff and you're attracting it. Chill out. You don't know. Your job is to live. God came so that you have more life, an abundant life. So how do you work on your debt-free plan? Maybe you got to sell everything and chill out for a second to pay off all the debt. And then look at, what does wealth look like for me and my children? It's all planning, clear, concise, specific. Seriously, that's all it is. It's clear, concise, and specific ideals and goals. Thanks. And yes, I'm also doing that as of now. Good. I'm learning it's important to give them the wisdom to maintain what you leave. Yes, definitely. Always. That's very good, Renee. That's what I'm saying. You want to live your life so that they blueprints. Here's how I created my will so you can create yours. Here, and have conversations. So my parents would do things. They got life insurance policies and they say, hey, this is a policy. You need to have a policy. We have this in place. Here's what happens when we die. Here's what the house is. So you got to have conversations. The old way is, a lot of times, like my great grandmother and them, they didn't talk about stuff. So you ain't know nothing. But you know what? My parents grew up teaching me. My mom would be like, Michelle, this is why you wear a slip. This is why you do. She would teach me all these things. My daddy would say, you can love music, but this is what is not real in these songs. And this is how you should live. So as a parent, you want to always be teaching. My parents, I should go see them today. My parents always, to this day, if I go to my daddy's house right now and they're going to be chilling, they retired, they sitting watching TV. If I go over there and go live, my dad is going to be like, hey, everybody, I got a message. Who knows what the message is going to be? But he's a teacher. He's going to teach you 24/7. He will try to, because he knows that his days are numbered. And it makes me want to cry to think of losing your parents, but I'm so grateful for their life. And I know that that's a part of life. So I'm just grateful that he poured everything in me. So here I am. I am a result of teaching your children as you live. So look at your kids. Have I taught them everything I need to teach them? Don't feel bad and don't get overwhelmed. Just say, oh, it's game time. My daddy would literally, on the way to school, lock the car doors and be like, oh yeah, baby. And he would just give these long speeches. And he thought it was so funny because he was like, you can't get out the car and I'm about to talk about everything I want to talk about. And I hated it. But I love my daddy for that, because my daddy said, I'm not your friend. I'm here to give you this knowledge. And you're going to be a good citizen. You're going to save your money. You're going to do this. This is how my parents raised me. So yes, Renee hit the nail on the head. Give them what you're learning. Tell them, I spent too much money, so now we can't do this. So here's the lesson. And I want y'all to walk with me as we are now eating properly, saving, and we're going to make this move so that we can have this. Make a chart and show them, here's where we are, here's where we're going. Here's the debt we have, and we're paying it off. Make it a group thing. Like, you get to live your life like that. You get to, and first of all, kids are smart. They be coming up with stuff. Listen to them kids. These kids is brilliant. They money making machines in themselves. If I have some kids, y'all best know my kids is gonna be like, I'm gonna teach them business. I'm gonna teach them how to see opportunity. So you have to also, this is really good, y'all. We could really go on this for like forever. But like, just know that the way you were parented, I'm blessed. I am adopted, right? My parents that I'm talking about are not my biological parents, but God knew what I needed because of what the calling is on my life. Like, I need to talk to you guys about this all the time, right? And I don't have to have children to know the impact that my parents had on me, because we ate dinner together every week and we talked, and they taught us about their mistakes. It wasn't a secret. So I am the result of parents who decided to teach as they made mistakes, who decided to, whatever. So yeah, we took a little twist on the good tea, but this is what we're about. Good tea is about that. Ooh, I just got an idea. This is really, really yummy. Yeah. Oh my God, I needed this. I'm feeling so overwhelmed with my 7 children. Yeah, so overwhelmed, just again, write everything, list it all out. I'm so happy I joined. I was never thought of that. I would never thought of that. Good. See, everything always happens the way that it should. I pray about good tea all the time, and I just pray that you guys get that one thing that you can take and run with. It's hard to give super, super detailed things. And I wouldn't say it's hard, but I just try to I want you to be resourceful, and I want to give you information that you can go expound upon. Yeah, writing it down is everything. I wish people could unmute themselves and I wish people could unmute themselves, because I really like doing stuff on the spot. How do we get that happening? Okay, so that's what we need. We don't have to, good teachers need to be private. You just need to join the little $12 club. That way I can talk to you and we can do on the spot coaching. So you can write out everything that's overwhelming you. Okay, you got 7 kids. I mean, you have to it'll take you forever to type, but just throw some 1-word things out so I can start writing out all the overwhelm, and watch us work through what overwhelm actually is, right? So like, if you think about 7 children and you're overwhelmed, what are the things? I'm just gonna make up something. So you may be like, food, bills piling up, what? They need clothes. What else? Daycare. What else? House a mess. And so the live stream, look, I see bills. Come on, give me some. Y'all work with me. I see that. I don't see. I guessed it. So you don't gotta have kids. I can just imagine 7 kids. I know what was happening in my mama house with 3 kids. Okay, and then not to mention, we always had somebody living with us. So it was 3 kids and my grandma with dementia, or 3 kids and my aunt and her 2 kids. So it's a house full of people all the time. Y'all know how black folks do. I just speak for my black and Hispanics. We be piling up. Okay, so business expenses. Okay, so biz expenses to get your license. Schooling. But like what? So here's another thing about overwhelm. Like, you have to be specific about what it is. So what is it with the food? Like, and what is it with the bills? Right? And then car repair. Time. Oh, you want to spend time. Like, yes, connection. Now, guess what this all goes to? This all goes back to management. And I have no, just by the way, disclaimer, I have absolutely no judgment on how somebody can be so jacked up. God does not judge you and say, oh my God. God loves you. So that's my take on people and they miss. You know what I'm saying? There are things, you could say, Keisha, I done killed somebody last night. I might be like, you want to kill me? Because if you don't make sure I ain't trying to die tonight. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's talk this through. Let's get to, okay, hold on. Let's think this out loud and get my pen and paper. At the end of the day, I'm not judging you, okay? So I need y'all to know that's how I operate. Anybody, some people run around here judging, fear. Oh, and it just feels like all of that. I'm not that person because God doesn't do that. Are there laws that we can apply to our quote unquote overwhelm and we can fix our lives? Yes. Is that how I roll? Yes. I don't believe in like somebody's better than somebody. That's stupid. I don't got time for that. My brain don't work like that because I'm not perfect. And I will tell you activities, that's connection, doctor's appointments. Oh, yes, medical. So, I'm so blessed my mom didn't leave me empty when she passed. Her wisdom and life experience is so much strength, wisdom and wealth. Good job, Yvonne. I love that. I love that. And that's pretty much how I feel about my parents. Thank you, Jesus, that they're still here. But my strength and comfort around death is because they prepared me for it. They literally would sit down with us and say, hey, y'all, we're going to die at some point on this timeline called life. And so here's what you need to be doing, saying, thinking. This is how they work, right? So let's look at how we deal with overwhelm. Now, we have a million things on this list, and it's not really a million. But, okay, you got business expenses, but it's time to buy school stuff, and you still want to spend time with them because you love them. But the medical one need they get their teeth fixed. Okay, you got food going and left and right. Because let me tell you, we was getting whippings for eating all the food with 3 of us. So I know with 7, it's a situation. Okay, clothing. All right. Now, one thing I can say about clothing is we got resourceful. We made really crafty hand-me-downs. I don't have any of that. I feel like I can't leave this too much. It's never too much. It's only too much when you try to do it by yourself. Proverbs 20:7 says, when people, now I'm paraphrasing. When you depend on your horse and chariot, you know what that is back in the day? Horse and chariots are power and they're tools and resources to help you be powerful. If you depend on your ability, I can't just depend on my energy or my singing voice. I got to depend on God, because if one of those things mess up, if my horse die or my chariot break, I'm screwed, I think. But when I know that the power of God is within me, that I have power and dominion. So whatever's been stripped away from me, whatever's left, I can feed a whole multitude of people with just 5 loaves and 2 pieces of fish or whatever it was in the Bible. So you got to understand that these stories are principles that you have to live by. Okay, so when you look at everything on this list, you have to learn how to prioritize what's important, right? So is your car still working? Is it broke down now? Blah, blah. Like, you have to really look at what's the severity of what's happening. And also something like your license for hair, that's the foundation of your business. So the Bible tells us that we are to live, to build things on solid foundations. And so you know that you need to get this done. So if you know this is one of the things you need to get done, you need to start and figure out the cost and the process. And then you need to set a date. All right? Because this is going to help you have more food, pay your bills, give kids. This is going to fuel that stuff. So we know that that's important, because a lot of stuff that's urgent right now, it's like, it's been urgent, boo. So that business license is foundation, because cosmetology, you need a license to operate. You don't want to start a business where somebody can come in and shut you down. So I'm just using it as an example. Okay, schooling. All of these things is just a matter of writing it out. Like, what is it? What does schooling mean? Because the quality of your life and the quality of the answers you're looking for will be based on your questions. So you say, oh, schooling is stressing me out. What about the schooling? Is it the school supplies? Is it like, okay, you got school supplies? Is it the schedule to pick up and drop off? Is it like, is who walking? You know, like when you got a bunch of kids, some gonna walk, some gonna ride the bus. Like, so that's all time management, right? And at the end of the day, when you have 7 kids, there's some things that you're gonna have to sacrifice until you get organized. But can this be done? Yes. Food. Okay, look at how much food's costing you. And then what does an average week look like in your household right now? And then where can you actually provide good meals but cut? There are so many budgeting moms on YouTube that teach how to feed a whole bunch of kids for a little money. It blows me away. Ask me why I'm looking at it. I don't know. I'm just obsessed with stuff like that because I like, that's productive. That's time management. And I'm just blown away how you can feed so many people with not a lot of money. My little butt over here, single, spend $1,000 a month on food, right? So if I had to spend 7 kids, I would be following, what's this lady? Follow this lady. Hold on. Let me just, and I get no credit for this. I don't even remember. Fun, free, cheap. Fun, free. Wait. Jordan Page. That's her name. But she gives so many life hacks. Follow her. Jordan Page. Instagram. But she teaches, she got a bunch of kids. So and guess what? Everything is time management. But you list out each of the things, and under each, just write down all the frustration. Okay, what about medical? Because we got to get clear. What about the car repair? What's the timeline on that? Because once we have timelines, we can prioritize the thing that needs to get done is the thing that if you don't do it, it's going to mess up all this other stuff. Does that make sense? I know this is like I'm trying to get, it's high level. It's not step by step by step, but I just want you to know how to think because you can think like this. You are smart enough. I don't care if you're from the dirty bottom of the hood. This is really simple. My bills are overwhelming me. So write them all out and look and see where your money's going. What can you eliminate that you don't need? And then you also need to look at how can I make more money? Manage what I'm getting in, keep my expenses low, but bring in more. So then I can buy more food, get the kids the clothes they need, pay for the daycare bills, and hire a housekeeper. Because with 7 kids, I ain't cleaning my house. Them kids, until we get the housekeeper, need some chores. Okay, so now we got that. Figure out them chores and we having a meeting. My mama used to leave chores on the fridge and call us while she at work. Hey, whisper it. Did y'all see that note on the refrigerator? When I get home, I expect that to be done. That voice right there means if I get home and my house ain't clean, I'm busting down doors. My mama literally took my door off the hinges one time. She unscrewed the door when she had my daddy unscrew my door. She was like, oh, okay, you think I'm playing? Then I take that door off the hook. Ain't no shut doors in my house. Whoop, my mama was a gangster. She's so little, she was a gangster too. I keep hearing people say that you have to get your goal. You have to be the person you want to be. You have to be being, not doing. What the world does that mean? I talk about that all the time. When your mama ain't playing right. So my point is, when it comes to your house being a mess, your kids are working for you. Ain't no shame in that because you're building responsibility in them. Because you know what I can't stand is seeing kids that are acting like you owe them something, that don't know how to clean up. They don't know how to have a conversation. They don't know anything because when they were growing up, you didn't put them through a training that showed them how to exist when you die. Right? So chores build something in them. Right? So everything just requires management. And you can't manage what's not being measured and what's not clear. So to say schooling, we need to get clear on what's frustrating you or overwhelming you about the schooling. And with 7 kids, I just know my friends with 5 and 6 kids, they be working it out. Some of them ride the bus. You get off the bus and go meet that one. Everybody better be home. And when I call out of the house, y'all better be. That's how that works. Right? Because it's a schedule. This is military. Like, and my family's military, so maybe that helps. But seriously, overwhelm happens when you're not clear on what about clothes? Because clothes is vague. What about your kids' clothes? Right? And is that really something that you should be overwhelmed about? Because at the end of the day, are they okay? Yeah. So that's not a priority right now. Typically, if bills and food, that means you need to bring some more money in that crib. Is your car about to break down? Is you driving your car raggedy, tearing it up to where you about to really be in a situation, so you need to get that car fixed, right? These are just questions that you have to ask, and relax, be unattached. Trust that you're smart enough. Trust that you're smart enough, and God is going to whisper the answer right in your heart. And it's not going to sound like you should go and do this. It's going to be like, your expense is too high. You're going to look at all your bills, and it's just going to be right there in front of you. And wisdom is going to say, you're spending too much money on unnecessary things. Go through and mark all the unnecessary things and resolve over the next 3 months. You're not doing that. And you need to manage your money every single day. So every single day, you got to have a money meeting with yourself. And you need to look at what you're spending each day. Before you go to bed, look at how much money you spent. That'll humble you, because you'll be like, dang. I had the money for the kids' clothes, but I didn't spend it right. But see, that's too much like real. How can I create a training? I need to be clear with myself and my children. A training? What do you mean? Training like for your household, or you want this something you want to sell? Yes, Lord. Right. So living from the space. So it's the same. Remember the phrase of what would Jesus do? Remember everybody had those little bands? I don't know if y'all remember that, which I love that. What would Jesus do mentality, meaning that you are living from the space of what would Jesus do. So that's who you be, right? So you're like, you can either be fearful or you can choose to take a risk, and because Jesus said believe. So you're living from the space of whatever. Like if you know that you're going to be a multimillionaire, you start today by managing your thousands, because you get to 1 million by having a whole bunch of thousands. So your being today is, instead of going to DSW to buy some shoes, you put that money aside and you're looking for a way to invest, an opportunity to make more money. That's living from the space of something. Right? And so the thing about the prodigal son story, he mismanaged the wealth that he was given. And then right after that, it was a drought. So sometimes we find ourselves in that season of the drought with kids or without kids. And so the cool thing is that you can just say, God, you know what? Here are my mistakes. I'm releasing shame and guilt and fear and frustration and overwhelm around these mistakes, because these mistakes don't make me, God, because you've given me power and dominion over my mind and over my actions. And so today is a new day that wasn't promised. And so I'm going to walk in accordance to your word. And so I need your word, God. Show me the scripture. I can't learn the whole Bible right now. And Lord, I know you know that. So point me to the right scripture, the right video, the right whatever, so that I can get the right nugget to take action and apply the word to my life. Because when you apply the word to your life, you're living and breathing, and you're living from that space, and your life, it has to change. It is a promise, but it does require some sacrifice. It does cost you something. Following God costs you something. Hey, Tranisha. Right? But that's how you live with God and stop being religious. That's how you actually build a relationship. You admit, okay, I'm jacked up. I'm pretty jacked up. But you know what? I know that there are graces and new mercies every single day. So Lord, thank you for your mercy. Here's my ignorant mistake I made. I am not my mistakes. You said that I come that you have life. Lord, I know that I can have more life and life more abundantly through the principles. Proverbs tells me how to handle my money. Proverbs tell me to stop giving my cousin $10 on Cash App every week. Proverbs could add them $10 up. Proverbs tells me, Luke shows me that if I go be frivolous and just blow my dough, that if a drought comes, I'm going to be trying to just work anywhere at McDonald's, wherever, not knocking McDonald's, because if you work there now, there are millionaires that came from McDonald's, so we don't disgrace anything. But if you went from making a whole lot of money and you squander it, and now you have to go do something, you know your value. So that hurts, because you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. Well, guess what? You put yourself in a situation, you can get yourself out. But this time, take God with you. God don't go nowhere. He be looking at you like this. You back? Okay, cool. Let's get back to what we was doing. He ain't going nowhere. And he loves you. And he's not carrying your mistakes in your forehead, on your face. You ain't walking around with all your mistakes like this. No. He's like, come here. Come on. Let's start over. It's a new day. Let's go. Let's focus. Let's get it. Come on. That's it. That's how God rolls. So all of this other stuff, God put sacrifice on my mind days ago. Boom. And what I love is that when you have a bunch of kids, kids can do stuff. So again, oh, you want to make a kid training. Yeah, like you can make a training on anything. Like that's easy. And it's just a matter of figuring out what it is. And are people looking for that, right? Maybe they are. Do a pre-sale and see. And teach people how to create systems in their household. Your house needs a system. If I had a household, if I was married with kids, we operating like a ship. Like I'm running that thing. Like I am nerdy like that. Like I need processes because I understand that systems and processes. Like right now, if you tell me I'm leaving the country or I'm going out of town at 6 a.m., in my bathroom, there is a drawer with my travel bag already ready. My travel toiletries are ready. In my closet, there's a section with the type of travel dresses, summer trip, winter trip, it's already ready. So I can pack in 20 minutes. That's a system. So I'm not stressing if I got to go to Barcelona tomorrow because your girl is ready. Systems make your life easy. When it comes to makeup, I have a system. There's literally a section in the bathroom where every time I got to get dressed, it takes me no time. I can do it took me like 12 minutes to do my face. Boom, 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 boom. Why? Because everything's already there. I know I have a system. Systems and processes. This is really, really good. Y'all making me have so many ideas. Okay, I got to go because it's about to be 12 o'clock and I am hungry. But this is good, y'all. Y'all better come to the Good Tea. Go to goodteaforlife.com and subscribe to my newsletter so that you get I'm always dropping wisdom. I'm going to tell you something. Wisdom don't always feel good. And let me tell you, here's how you create a system. Think about McDonald's. If you could just think about McDonald's, to me, that's how in my business, I started thinking about dealerships, McDonald's, things that you see every single day and how they flow. So I was like, okay, you go through the drive-through. There's only, 13 options. Okay. Now, although we can play with all these different options, there's only 13 options. So you know what you're going to get. As a business, I know what possible order combinations there are. So now in my system on the computer, I could just rock. I can have everything listed so I can punch it in so there's the customer system and then there's the person behind the the order window, and they have everything run smoothly for them because of the customer path that you've laid out. I looked at myself and said, I want everything to run. I want to look a certain way every day. So I need to have a makeup system, right? I want my body to be a certain way. So I have a food system. It's real simple. It's just what are the steps that I need to take to get me the result in this time frame. I've always been this way. It is very weird. When I was a kid and I had to ride the bus, I knew how much time I had to BS with my friends before my bus came. I had a system on how fast I needed to walk, what time the bus, what possible late times, I was really nerdy. Like as a kid, I never repeated the same outfit within 2-week time frame because I would literally get a piece of paper, tape it to the wall, and I mapped out which skirt and what shirt because I couldn't wear pants. So I was sick of people asking me why I couldn't wear pants. So my goal was to be so cute that they just was like, you always cute. They didn't even realize I wasn't wearing pants anymore. And they nicknamed me Skirt. And they thought I had a lot of clothes, but I just rotated them because I realized that people didn't pay attention. You could wear the same thing every day. No one cares. So I created my own little uniform. So I knew which type of skirts, which type of shirts, and then I rotated them. I had a system. Systems make your life easy. I ironed all my clothes on Sunday. That way I had more time to sleep because I wanted more sleep. So this is about knowing what you want and then organizing your life and time. I sound really creepy to myself right now. Like, you're such a nerd. I've been such a nerd since I was a kid. But this is literally how I thought. I was like, okay, if I want to have more fun, then I need to make sure the house is clean before my mama asked me. So she can't tell me no. If I want people to stop asking me how I look, I'm about to overdress. I'll be fly. So all you wondering is how rich am I? And I was broke. We was broke. But nobody knew it. People used to ask me all the time, what do you do? In my mind, for the person who said, you hear everybody asking about being, that was a really legit question. Like, they said you have to be the person. So I shopped at the thrift store as a kid. My mama took me to the thrift store, but I dressed as a business owner. In my mind, I was the business owner, period. It was non-negotiable. I didn't care that I didn't have a business because I presented myself that way. So people respected me that way. So I had street respect. Nobody, the hood people didn't mess. Nobody was trying to fight me. Nobody. One time, that didn't go too well because I will punch you in your face. Okay. But I was respected because I was being the business owner that I thought I was going to be in the future today. Does that make sense? Not creepy. I love it. I'm building systems in my life so I can be super simple. It is simplicity. Let me tell you why it's so hard to be simple. Media has told you that you need a million things. Media told you need a TV in every room. Media told you need all the latest and the greatest. Look at my house. It's empty. Why? Because I like the space, but I don't need all this stuff filling up every corner. It's nice, but at this point, it's not necessary for me. And so you have to know yourself and you have to know your motive behind doing things, because you can get caught up in doing things, buying things, being things for the perception of others. So it's why you need God, because if you have God, then you know that you're enough and you're not even thinking about what somebody else thinking about you, and you're just trying to put the laws of wisdom in place. Okay. Okay. This was a good little chat, y'all. Y'all better get your lives. We talked about a lot. So much I can go deeper in. Sorry if I just kind of grazed over it, but I was going to end it in, be done. Yeah, but a system is very simple. It is, for example, when I work corporate, the system for the phones. Every morning when I got to work before the phones were supposed to be turned on, which made calls come through. Every day I had to get to work at a certain time so that I could check the voicemails, send the messages to, that's the system. So the way that I didn't get overwhelmed with all the companies that I was responsible for answering the phones for is I got to work early and I didn't even cut the phone on until certain systems were in place. Like certain mail was delivered to certain people, certain things were done. So by the time I got to the phones, I could be present and have an easy day answering phone calls. And then as people were saying things, I would take notes and set a time and place to go deliver the mail or deliver the message or book the conference room. There are systems in place. If someone booked a conference room, now I'm talking about corporate, but this is the same way you manage yourself and your life. If someone booked the conference room, there was a certain greeting. There was a certain way that I had to clean the conference room. There was certain things that I had to do so that each guest came in, got the same experience. That is a system. So for example, my mom in our house, the system was on Saturday morning, before you could do anything, everybody had a set of chores that they had to get done by a certain time. So my mama knew the house was going to be clean by 11:30. And then you can go do whatever you want to do. That gave her peace of mind that her house was clean, so she can go do whatever she wants to do. That built responsibility in us and taught us to work for what we want, right? So we getting a lot done with her system. That's all it is. Systems are things you have in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps you have in place to get a consistent result. Okay? So this is good tea. I needed to hear this. You guys, good tea for life. I'm going to do another video for that. But we have a $12 membership. And I was just talking to somebody and I said, I think I want to change what the paid membership is. Not change, but add to more stuff like this. Because I think the frustration that we have is applying the word to something like running your house with your 7 kids, right? And with God being at the center, this is God. Like, this is good God stuff, right? And it's not the stuff that you're necessarily going to hear on Sunday morning at church, but it's what you need. Real talk, you have to look like the business owner. Each service has to have a system to stay on task. Exactly. Right. So for me, my personal system, I have to do mindset every morning before I look at my phone, talking to y'all, doing all this. I fill my cup spiritually, and I need to work out, and I need to look cute. So I don't care what's going on in the world. If my mom and daddy okay, I got to go get my mind right, work out, fuel my body, and look cute. And then I'm ready to do whatever you're talking about. Because that's my personal system to be happy and to just feel good about myself. That's what I do. And at night before I go to bed, I roll over and I put the word in my heart. Because the last thing if you go to bed with some demonic movie on about all these witch shows now and stuff, what you think is going on in your spirit? Your brain is smart, boo. So it don't matter if the TV's on, it's feeding your soul, right? So no, I need the word in my soul before I go to bed. That's just my personal preference. Essentialism, right? Oh, there's a book by that. What is it? Greg McCowan? Is that his name? Greg. Yeah, but I want to turn good teeth. I'm getting so inspired. Y'all just make my life amazing. Yep, Greg McCowan. He made the book. Let me look and see what I think it's called Essentialism. But go watch on YouTube, you guys. There's always shortcuts to books. Go watch on YouTube. He has plenty of videos where he just talks personal system. Yes. Katia, what's up? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm hungry. I love you all. Ciao for now. You guys, hope you caught the special. This morning I did a live stream and I was just talking about creating your online course. Ladies, I hate wearing all this frosty lipstick. I tried it today. I don't like it. Anyway, because it just looks a hot mess. It looks like you ate donuts. It's not for me. Anyway, that's for the ladies. Fellas, sorry. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. This old frosty stuff, powdery looking lipstick. I tried it. I don't like it. I need a napkin. Anyway, I taught you guys a lot. I gave a bunch of tips this morning about teaching your online course. And right now, my online course Magic, where I walk you through how to create your class and sell it. If you want to do that, it's only one-time investment, lifetime access for $300. Like literally, it's normally $500. So it's $200 off. And next week we start our live sessions. And there's only there's less than 13 slots now because I need to look and see who bought, because people are buying things while I'm talking to you guys. So there were 13 slots for 300 because I just wanted to be generous. We hit 27,000. I'm gonna keep putting a lot of my classes on sale on specials because we hit 27,000 on YouTube, and then I'm just getting to 28,000. So I want to get there faster this time. So I'm doing these incentives so you guys can hop on, subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lakeisha Michelle. If you enjoyed this, you can go to goodteaforlife.com, subscribe to that newsletter. It'll put you in my email list, and I talk about all of this kind of stuff. Business, mindset, God, everything. It's all good stuff to up-level your life. What else? Okay, I gotta go to this call. I'm gonna take this call. I will see you guys later. Hello?